My name is Tony Ferguson. I am the founder and the CEO of Performance Feeds. I started this company approximately 15 years ago after becoming increasingly frustrated with cost of gains and the feeds that was available to me on a commercial basis. After hiring the most respected nutritionist in the cattle feeding business, we have literally trialed hundreds of groups of cattle in the last 15 years to make cost of gains less. We believe today that we have cattle gaining the most efficient that they can possibly gain by anyone that you can purchase feed from anywhere in the marketplace. We got into the feed business simply because we feed cattle. We run 1,800 bred females and stocker cattle as well. In doing that, we need to be efficient to be profitable in today's world. We develop these feeds for our own use, but we're feeding the feed right beside the customer each day, and we know what gains are and we know what it takes to be profitable in today's marketplace. So in doing so, we're not making a least cost of feed, we're making a least cost of gain feed simply because we own cattle. We're a farmer, we're a cattleman, just like the people that are our customers that's paying us for this product. And we make this feed based on that, what is most profitable in our cattle to pass on to the consumer, and skipping the middleman, that we can get the best quality product to the end producer at the least cost. We understand that profits are the most important thing in feeding cattle. That's why we started Performance Feeds. We know the success that we have had feeding Performance Feeds. We want you to hear what some of our customers have to say about their experience as well.
I've been backgrounding all my calves now for a long time, and prior to using Performance's feed products, I have used 3 different competitors' products, and I wasn't satisfied with the end result in all 3 of them. Now that I'm using Performance Feed, I'm buying a more economical feed, I'm getting better rate of gain, and in turn putting a lot more dollars in my pocket.
We feel like our conversion rate feeding the TTU bull mix to these bulls has been well worth the dollar. We do try to be a forage-based operation here. That's what cattle are put in the world for. When you put these bulls on feed, the conversion rate for what we're getting out of the growth we think is ideal. On the self-feeder last year, those fall bulls were averaging 23 pounds of feed a day was their consumption rate, but they ate 23 pounds a day with free choice hay, and they averaged 4.01 pounds on a 100-day test.
You got to make it work on both sides. I mean, you got to have genetics to start with. If you don't have that, you're not going to get where you really want to go. But if you got that and you spend that money from genetics, you also got to have a feed when you wean these calves to really make it work. Through Performance Feed, we've gained that opportunity. I mean, we've took advantage of everything we can, and I feel like we're doing about as good as we can today. You know, we're putting 3 pounds more a day gain on these cattle versus what everybody else in our county basically is doing. Our biggest thing here at home is time, and time is really important. If we keep them calves a year and a half and get them to 875 pounds, it'll cost us a lot more money than where we're pushing them, getting them there in 9.5, 10 months. And we're not getting them fat when they're there at 850 pounds. I mean, these calves are, you know, they're growing the whole time, and they really do good when they're shipped out to feed yards. All kinds of cattle in our country today that's weaned, and people will wean them for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and they may put 100, maybe 200 pound of gain on them. But if they would sit down and pencil it out what it's actually costing them every day to keep that animal, and then add the days up that they're actually keeping that animal, I mean, their cost gets really expensive. And I feel like what we're doing with Performance Feed, the feed we're feeding, and what we're trying to do with our calves, the time factor is just so much greater what we're doing, because we're not keeping that calf on feed about 35 to 45 days and he's gone.
Been doing business with Performance Feed now about 4 years. The relationship with the feed company staff, whether it be the reps, the owner, the feed truck drivers, has always been a very good experience for me. And when I have questions concerning different types of feed for different groups of cattle, they're always right there with the right answers to get me on the right track to feed the proper ration for the type of animals I'm feeding at that time.
Our customers are really complimenting the way these bulls hold up when they turn them out. And you know, anybody that's fed any kind of bulls in the past will know that the feed is very important. Just putting 4 pounds a day on them is one thing. Putting 4 pounds a day on these bulls that they will maintain and hold when you put them back out into the cow herd is a different situation. So I think the feed is very good at what it does. It puts muscle on the bulls. It doesn't put fat on them.
We fed some feeds from different places, and you can get some cheap feed and it don't look bad. I mean, you can dump a truckload in there, a semi-load, and you think, man, our cost has gone way down. And it has for that truckload. But how many truckloads does it take to do the same amount of gain as it does with some feed that really works? And when you get done in the end, the cheap feed is usually cost you half again as much, or maybe twice as much as the higher price feed. But it's not per truckload, it's how many truckloads we got to have to make the same amount of gain. Come to Performance Feed and get a feed that will really optimize them genetics and make them calves gain like they should be gaining.
At the end of the day, performance pays.
At the end of the day, Performance Feed pays.